Hey guys, Nate here from the 8020 drummer. Honored to be asked by the Drum House to record a guest lesson for you guys. Been a fan of this channel, the Drum House, for a few years, and one of the first things that attracted me here was a lesson by Chopz Wright of Berklee School of Music fame that he did on this channel a couple years ago. And I thought one of the best ways I could contribute and help these guys out with their great channel was to do a lesson kind of jumping off where Sean left off and taking a chop of his and kind of deconstructing it and showing you a few little tweaks you can make that'll help you learn it faster and it'll help you sound better doing it. So let me first demonstrate to you a little of the vocabulary we're going to be learning from Sean. And I'm improvising a little bit, but the chop is going to be within this. So let's just do it. 2, 3. So that's a little of Sean's vocabulary, and I want to show you a specific nugget of that you'll be able to take into the shed and practice and get it really good and then improve on. And I want to show you through the filter of 3 of my kind of playing concepts, which start with the question, it's not just what is Sean playing, but the question is why does Sean sound better than us? And through all my years of playing and teaching, I've discovered it's 3 things, and I'm going to take you through those. Number 1 is playing clean. Number 2 is playing in time. And number 3 is having options, which means being able to improvise in the music without either repeating yourself or hiccuping. So let me show you this simplified version of Sean's thing, and then I'm going to take it through those 3 things for you. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so number 1, playing clean. What that means is if instead of a single drummer, you were a group of 4 or 5 people in a drum line, would your ensemble be tight? Would you be playing tight together? Would you sound like... Or would you sound like... So there are 2 things that go into this. Number 1 is, are your sounds clean? Right? When you're trying to do a rim shot, is it really a rim shot? When you're doing a ghost stroke, is it in the center of the head? Or is there a bunch of slop? Number 2 is, when your hands are playing together with your feet, are they really playing together? Or are they flamming? So those are the 2 things we're going to look out for when we address this lick. So it's not rocket science, but we're going to slow it down, we're going to play it like a chop, and we're going to listen for 2 specific places that are kind of spots where you're going to get hung up. So let me play it really slowly for you. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so the 2 spots where you're likely going to get hung up are between the 2 accents. So the rim shot and the softer stroke on the hat, Are those hitting together? And then, are those hitting together? So this, you can take just this chunk, and this is a chop you can practice. You can practice it slow to fast to slow like any rudiment, and just make sure that that's staying clean. And then the other spot is at the end, when you've got that double right hand with the bass drum along with it. And same thing, you can practice that. If you're having trouble with that, you can literally just, this can be your chop. So it's not, right? Okay, so that's playing clean. Number two is playing in time. And that means two big things. Number one, it means within the phrase, are these 16th notes consistent? Tuck, cut, tuck, cut, tuck. Are they the same distance apart? Are they staying the same speed? The other thing it means is that over the course of a tune, if you're playing this over 5 or 10 minutes, is it going to end at the same tempo it began? So obviously people tell you to practice with a metronome, but I'm going to give you two little hacks for this, which you might want to spend 20 minutes practicing it one way, and then when that's comfortable, spend 20 minutes practicing it the next way. So the simple way is in 4/4 with the metronome subdividing on 16th notes. But I'm going to add a little wrinkle, which is that you've got an accent, and we're going to practice hearing the accent on the upbeat to the downbeat instead of on the downbeat. So 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1. This is going to do a profound thing for your time, which is it's going to erase your tendency to race to the downbeat. It's going to cause you to wait for that downbeat because you're listening for that upbeat. So let me play that beat for you with that metronome placement just to demonstrate. So this is quarter note equals 90 on 16th notes with the accent on the 16th upbeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's all well and good. We all know about locking up with a click, but try it with that 16th note on the upbeat. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is something that maybe you haven't tried before, but that is actually to put the metronome on 16th offbeats. So I'm just going to change my metronome over here to 8ths, but we're going to hear those as 16th offbeats. So let me show you what I mean. 3, 4. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1. So this is going to be difficult at first, but what that's going to do for you is it's going to put you in a position where you need to lead. Instead of following the metronome, you're playing time and the metronome is checking you, so that it'll show you where you're rushing or dragging within the bar. So let me demonstrate that really quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4. So when you get that going, you can space that out for like 20 minutes and practice different accents, practice different dynamics. Because if you try to play it really soft, your tendency will be to slow down. And if you try to play it really loud, your tendency will be to rush. So practice with the metronome in all of those realistic situations like it's in a real song. Okay, number 3 is having options, and that's to be able to improvise in the moment, in the music, without screwing up. I don't know if it's okay for me to cuss on this channel, so we're using the euphemism screwing up. And here is where I'm going to introduce that variation to you that goes to the ride cymbal. But I want to talk about a concept called orchestration, which means that while the basic choreography of the beat remains the same, you can move your hands to basically any surfaces you want. And I'm going to focus on a couple of specific things. So the basic, which we already learned, is the right hand on the hats. And then I want to do one which is moving the right hand to the rim of the rack tom and adding the left foot. So that's going to sound like this. 2, 3, 4. And just like when we're playing everything on the hats, we need to make sure that things are clean. And with this left foot, you're adding an extra dimension here. So what do? We play it slowly again and make sure that everything's locking up correctly. So isolate this part. By the way, I haven't worked out like a scripted, consistent part for this left foot. So probably what I'll do is I'll take just a loop of a couple bars that end up sounding good, and I'll put the transcription up. I'll make sure I share that with the Drumhouse guys, so they give you a link so you can download the PDF with the transcription of all the beats. I'll probably also try to edit it so I put them up on the screen. Just want to give you the disclaimer that the transcription may not be 100% exactly what I'm playing in the moment, but it's a faithful enough reproduction that it's, by playing the transcription, you'll get close to what I'm doing. Okay, so the last bit is this ride cymbal bell thing, which adds yet another layer of complication, because on the rack tom rim, that's still all one level. But when we go to the ride cymbal bell, now we have 2 levels. We have an unaccented stroke and an accented stroke. So in other words, it's giving us another orchestration option, just like with the left hand we have with the right hand. So that opens up a whole other territory of textures. So let me show you really quickly. Let me show you really quickly what that will look like. 2, 3, 4. Again, slow it down, make sure it's clean. The difference between that and playing it dirty is the difference between, it'll save you probably 2 to 3 years in your drum career. Because if you can play a basic set of beats cleanly and in time, you'll work. But if you have a ton of chops and a ton of fancy coordination stuff worked out and you're not playing clean and you're not playing in time, you won't work. That's the difference. So if you want to be playing gigs and getting that experience as you're continuing to develop, like learn to play cleanly and learn to play with the metronome. Okay, I called this section having options. So I want to talk to you really briefly about one last concept I have, which is called the loop exercise, which essentially means that if you go to a house club and the DJ is playing music, he or she is going to be playing loops, and the beat may not change for 10 to 15 minutes, but then he'll add another record with another texture and use the crossfader to introduce a new element. And you're going to do exactly the same thing with yourself on the drums. So I want to demonstrate for you just a couple of hypotheticals. But what you're going to do is you're going to start with the basic chunk of that beat, and you're going to introduce one variation every 5 to 10 minutes while playing with the metronome. And you're going to wait until that gets really comfortable, really killing, really in the slot. And then you're going to challenge yourself to add a little variation to it. So let me just demo that for a moment, as long as my mics and cameras still have batteries to spare. Hey guys, so you'll notice I'm not behind the drum kit anymore. Holler! I'm at home in my apartment here. And the reason why is that, just as I predicted, my front camera quit recording. It wasn't even out of batteries, there was just some weird feature on it that I needed to disable. Anyway, I wanted to wrap up that session with a couple of thoughts. So off the top of my head, those variations I was playing, I think I give you 8, and they were like 4 bars per. That's extremely condensed compared to what they'd look like in real life. You'd really spend 5 to 10 minutes on each one. Try to really push yourself between each one to make them like risky, but then stay on each one long enough to make them killing. Shoutouts, Jamie Hadhead. Anyway, just wanted to wrap it up by thanking the Drum House dudes again for inviting me on. Been a real pleasure to make a video for them. Hope you enjoyed this, hope you got something out of it. Definitely check out the other videos on their channel, including Sean's. Sean's amazing, respect. And if you want to check out what I'm doing, check me out on YouTube/8020drummer or the 8020drummer.com. Got a bunch of stuff going on, and hopefully some of it will help you. Anyway, hope to see you again soon in another video. Peace, guys. It's been real. Oh yeah, wine flute. All right.